Uh-oh. Looks like things aren't going well for the Trump family. Trump sent his L squad to negotiate with Iran. L squad indeed. You trust somebody like JD Vance to make negotiations? I mean, maybe he can play femme fatale and charm Iran. JD! Strike the pose. Melania, I didn't forget about you. Can't forget about you. You involved in this also. Lying piece of stuff. I was gonna say stuff. Trying to keep this intro PG, y'all. So, as you can clearly see, there was no ending of civilizations, thank God. But why would you, as the President of the United States, claim that you're going to end a civilization? Oh, this must be the President 2026 rules. Oh, okay, so I get it now. So we were ill-informed. We were not aware that the rules to be president get recycled every year. So, according to Donald Trump, in the year 2027, he's gonna want a pony. Hey, it's in the rules. So he decided to do something that I think we can all agree on. Not doing that and negotiate. Iran had a plan, a 10-point agreement that Donald Trump agreed to. He posted it on his social media. And then JD Vance and the L Squad come in, switch up the terms of the agreement, or claim that we're going to take out your negotiators. They even went as far as to try and suggest somewhere out of the Middle East is a bit more, neutral. As you can see here, the United States is preferring Geneva as a new venue for talks, but Iran's not having it. They state they believe that any other venue other than Islamabad possesses security risks for their negotiators. I wonder why. Real fucking smart. You do understand that people are watching this closely, right? This is not about looking tough anymore. This is about respect. If you continue down this path, everybody's not going to respect you out loud. Before, people were disrespecting you in private, but now you are giving them full reign to disrespect you out loud. And Trump knows it. Seems the German chancellor agrees. He states from the beginning, I did not have the impression that they were really well prepared. Wow. Iran has offered to negotiate with anybody else but Trump. So Trump decides to create a blockade. If only Trump knew how a blockade works. They calling you out, Donald. You know you can't execute a blockade by posting it on X, right? Like you actually have to bring your ships closer. So pretty much our ships are just kind of floating out there. What did Japan call Trump?
トランプ always chickens out この頭文字を取って TACO タコなんです。
And as we can clearly see here, all of Iran's naval ships are still intact. So I guess we can put a cap on all their ships are destroyed. But people are still able to use a strait, like China, for instance.
China is saying this. We are committed for peace and stability in the world. China's Minister of Defense, Admiral Dong Jun, says, we are monitoring the situation in the Middle East. Our ships are moving in and out of the waters of the Strait of Hormuz. We have trade and energy agreements with Iran. We will respect and honor them and expect others to not meddle in our affairs. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz and it is open to us.
But in case you still don't believe your boy, the United States thought that maybe we could just slide on in anyway. And Iran was like, the fuck is you doing? Donald, you must be crazy thinking you're just gonna sneak your way up into that strait. No, they checked your ass.
Boy, have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find it. What you looking for? Ain't nobody gonna help you out there. Jesus can come through that door and he's not gonna help you.
So apparently now, because of Trump's little rinky-dinky ass little blockade, ain't nobody able to use the strait no more. Or at least that's what he says. Now countries have to pay a toll of $2 million to be able to use the Strait of Hormuz. Must I remind you?
Must I remind you, yes?
That this used to be free. You know, like trade with Canada used to be free. The art of the deal, huh? Since when does the art of the deal mean that the opposing side gets $2 million and I get jack shit? That's the art of the deal?
Damn, damn, damn!
Oh, I must be doing it wrong, right? So as no surprise to anybody, this shit ain't working out. So Trump decides to pivot. Again. Trump seems to think he's Jesus. Or at least he gets Jesus mixed up with a doctor. I don't see the correlation. Help me!
It wasn't depiction. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as the doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
Amazing how all the evangelicals and Christians ain't saying shit about this. Y'all silent as fuck about this, but y'all want to complain about men and women's sports and bathrooms and all this. I think we call that selective outrage. Donald Trump claims that he's making people's lives better because of no tax on tips. That's it. Just on tips. Your whole paycheck gets taxed, just not on the tips. I remember me working as a server. I wasn't getting paid that much money on my paycheck anyway, but context matters. So in order to prove it, Donald Trump decides to hire a prop. I'm sorry, I meant DoorDash.
McDonald's.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. I have your DoorDash. You want to record you, Mr. President?
That's right. Look at this. This doesn't look staged, does it?
They're all your favorites.
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, it does look kind of staged. But please continue. I want to see where this goes.
You know, we call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. We should call it the Great Big Beautiful Tax Cut Bill because it's tremendous amounts of money, and that's overtime. That's also on Social Security, as you know.
Yes.
And it's pretty amazing.
Yes, it
And
is.
you're really nice. Would you like to do a little news conference with me with these people? These are not the nicest people. They're not nice like you. You know that, right?
I'll do whatever you ask me to do, sir.
So the no tax on tips is something special, right?
It's very special.
And that's the one that really pertains to you more than anything else.
Yes, sir.
Clearly, he's using this woman to distract us from, the war and the Epstein files. But something's bothering me. I swear I've seen her before.
She's from Arkansas. Her name is Sharon Simmons. She previously testified before the MAGA Republicans House Ways and Means field hearing in Nevada. And she testified about being a DoorDash employee there and how no tax on tips would help her. So back in July 2025, she was rolled out by MAGA Republicans. Then I think her husband's a MAGA guy who wears the Trump hat in a lot of places that he goes.
So MAGA's lazy is pretty much what I'm hearing. Maybe if you want to continue to stunt, maybe you should find new people instead of recycling the same old ass people and putting them in different causes. This is not a plug and play.
$11,000. My tips were over half of my income from last year.
I mean,
So
that's a life changer.
yes, it is. It is. And when, like I said, when you're dealing with someone that has gone through cancer and, you love them, you don't want to lose them. So you do everything that you can. And, you go through your life savings, but this no tax on tips and the help from DoorDash is life-changing.
She says that she uses her tip money to pay for her husband's cancer treatment. Now, a logical person would think that cancer treatments are pretty damn expensive. And you said that this tip money covers more than half of your income. So I would say you make roughly around $22,000 a year. Ma'am, that is not enough to pay for your husband's cancer treatment. But we don't think about that. The only thing we're hearing is cancer treatment and save money. Or we can just skip all that and you can just pay for it because you are a billionaire now. Trump, why don't you just stick to calling into Fox News? I've always thought that you do better when you're not in front of the camera. Hey, don't be mad at me. I'm just trying to help.
we have the strongest military in the world by far, and everybody sees it, whether it's Venezuela or what we've done with Iran. And when I read, the fake news talking about how well Iran's doing, they're not doing well at all. They're getting killed. I could take out Iran in one day. I could take down in 1 hour. I could have their entire energy, everything, every one of their plants, their electric generating plants, which is a big deal.
Ain't no helping this man. If Trump went ahead and wiped out an entire civilization, I can say with my chest that will be the end of Donald Trump right there. And he's gotten away with a lot of stuff as president, which I'm surprised about. Talking about we hot right now. Yeah, toxic, radioactive. I thought we were supposed to be just trading with countries and just chilling, just keeping this thing going. Trump comes in and says, nah, fuck that shit, burn it all down and remake it in my name. Almost everything this man has been doing on paper is a crime. But you got Republicans like, I don't know.
We knocked out where they make the drones, and the drones are less effective now. And also, we have new machinery to kill the drones. You saw that. The computerized bullets, they call it. And also lasers. The laser melts the drone. It's a beautiful thing to see. So we have a lot of stuff.
Oh, Lord, this man's talking about lasers. Lasers? You mean like science fiction? Lasers? I need those medical records right now. Yo, please somebody get this man a script or a teleprompter or something, because he needs it. All right, somebody get that grandpa. Nurse. Maybe he was watching Congo last night.
Hang on! So do you believe the price of oil and gas will be lower before the midterm elections?
I hope so. I mean, I think so. It could be. It could be or the same or maybe a little bit higher, but it should be around the same. I think this won't be that much longer. They're wiped out, man. They're wiped out. And you don't get a fair shake. You don't get, we need a free and fair press in this country. And I don't even know why people would do that. Why would they say how wonderful they're doing militarily? They're doing so well. They're totally, the country is wiped out.
I'm free. I'm free.
Listening to Trump talk feels like Goofy being pissed off at Max for choosing LA over the lake in a Goofy movie.
How about a song, Dad? A game? A game, yeah, a game, okay. A man or a woman?
Which brings me to Melania. Apparently she's been having a tough time with an old friend. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, friends fight all the time. Not when they're tied to Epstein.
Brazilian model Amanda Ungaro had been friends with the Trumps for years because of her ex-partner Paolo Zampolli, who now serves in the Trump admin as special envoy for global partnerships, and who introduced Melania to Trump in 1998. Zampolli was the owner of ID Models when Ungaro was signed to the agency at just 16 in 2002. That's when she says her agent, Jean-Luc Brunel, introduced her to Epstein, and she flew from Paris to New York on his Lolita Express with around 30 other young teens. That's also around when Zampolli and Ungaro's romantic relationship began. The couple split in 2023 after 2 decades together, and a bitter custody battle over their 16-year-old son ensued. But in June 2025, Zampolli used his government position to have her deported by ICE so he could gain custody of their son. She ended up in ICE detention for months after a long relationship where Ungaro says Zampolli abused her psychologically and physically. Now, after Melania's press conference denying Epstein ties, Ungaro's taken to X to threaten to expose everything she knows. I will tear down your corrupt system, even if it's the last thing I do in my life. Maybe you should be afraid of what I know, of who you are, and who your husband is.
You want to retract that statement, Melania?
I would say that the American people really don't care for Melania Trump. Take a look at this. All right, let's take a look at Melania Trump's net favorable ratings. Look at this. The lowest ever. The lowest ever. We're talking about now 12 points underwater. If you go back a little bit more than a year ago, she was 3 points above water. You go back at this point, about this point in term number 1 for Donald Trump. Look at that. She was 30 points above water. So at this point, historic lows for Melania Trump. These numbers are absolutely awful.
Considering a handful of them were at Pam Bondi's hearing, and nobody asked them questions then. Guess that underground bunker is not just for your husband, huh? You better make some room, or at least give her a corner.
There are 4 corners in this room. Each corner is to be a personal space for each one of you, whichever corner you want, and make it your own.
I knew Trump's presidency was going to be interesting, and I do not mean that in the best way. I'd go back to him talking about injecting yourself with bleach over this shit any day of the week.
Then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
This is cinema. I've never seen a villain try to take himself out.
You stupid rabbit! Like this!
I'm going to close this out with a quote from a young Robert Downey Jr. And remember, everybody, look out for one another. Because they're not. Take it away, RDJ.
This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low IQ, high-energy, jackrabbit, fucking wannabe, big-time, small-time, shit-talking, bothersome, irritating bunch of motherfuckers I have ever had to endure for more than 5 minutes.